Talk Tonight continues now ahead of National Signing Week, Signing Day, which is Wednesday. Syracuse University's head football coach sat down with Michael on last Friday, just before Super Bowl weekend, and just coming off basically a flight and a drive around the country, and another flight, another drive, trying to find the best high school football players he can find to fit into the Syracuse Orange program. It seems from everything that's leaking out, that leaking maybe not quite that well, but I'll use that, the leaking ship, he has plugged a lot of holes. He's lost a couple players, he's gained some players, and we'll hear more about that on Wednesday. But what was your impression from him in terms of his confidence that he's getting a good mix? He seemed pretty confident, didn't he?
He likes, well, there was so much he couldn't say because of the, he can't talk specific kids, and he did tell us some places that he was trying to really seal the deal. He's sort of the closer now. If there was a remaining coach who didn't leave, like so many of them did, to go with Doug Marrone to Buffalo, they were doing the initial scramble work after it was announced that the top levels of this program are blowing up and we're going to have new people in charge. And then he, the last couple of days, was sort of the closer with a message of, here's the program, here's me, trust me, which can be a hard sell to some of these kids, I'd imagine.
Although I would think, based on the interview, and I have not met Scott Shafer in person yet, but when I'm seeing him talk from his news conference, he comes across as very credible, very likable, and the kind of guy that parents would feel safe in trusting their son to go play for him.
And this community will want to root for. He's that sort of guy. So I think that your point on that, from the prospective student athlete, is a correct one. He's very likable. He is smart. You know that he's the CEO of this operation. He's got a sort of a business mind for it.
And he was ready to ascend to that from what your appearance, your impression is?
Yeah, he loves it.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't been home for 2 nights in a row since our interview. I mean, that was the first time he had been home for 2 nights in a row, I think, since he took the job. So
Does he seem like the type of guy who's going to want to stay, or do you see him eventually doing what Doug Marrone did?
Well, you know, he's very complimentary when he talks about Doug Marrone and he talks about the other assistants who went on to pursue their dream. But he follows that up with saying, I love Syracuse, I love Central New York. I don't think that's a line that he is selling out there. I think he really does believe it. I think his wife believes it as well. She emailed me, she watched the story, and she was glad we included a question about his own heart health. His dad died at 53 of a second heart attack. And that was.
Does he have any diagnosed problem, or is he just
not that he revealed, but he did spend some years, as he was likely probably in his 30s, is what I gather from the interview, where this was on his mind a lot. And now he's getting closer. He's 46, getting closer to that 53-year mark.
Yeah, how much?
But he says he doesn't think about it as much as he used to.
Interesting. Well, they do have 2 children in high school, and it certainly makes sense, as you're talking about his longevity here. It is certainly most likely that he's here a good 3, 4, 5 years, reestablishing himself as a head coach, taking the program forward from where Doug Marrone, and then it's probably unreasonable to expect anybody in today's coaching world to say, I'm staying for 10 years, 20 years, because the opportunities can be tremendous if he does a good job. So it's unfair to, I think, even almost to ask that question, what are you going to do?
There's so many unknowables. It's just we have to see how this goes.
Right.
I mean, his first test is Wednesday. I said, what are people going to think, the fans? How will they react to this signing class, these new recruits? And he says they'll like their character. That isn't, they're all the best players in the country. We know that's not, going to happen. But he also was saying, the internet's changed everything. Every website rates different players. This is a 5, this is a 2. This kid's,
they don't always know anything.
And he really doesn't take much stock in that at all. I liked that too.
Michael, it was interesting, and it was interesting to have you do the interview as a news person, as a fan.
Right, because I'm not
not a hardcore football person.
Not at all. No, but it was interesting.
And we have that full video. If you'd like to see the interview, we have it for you on our website, cmycentral.com.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff. Thanks, Michael. Appreciate you stopping in for the talk as well. Don't forget the hashtag. That's right. TheTalkCNY, and you can reach all of us on Twitter. Get the latest now on the forecast. Chief Meteorologist Wayne Mahar is out on the weather deck tonight. It's wintry out there.
Yes, another.